Let's take you further into the continent now. Nigerians are heading to the polls tomorrow for the hotly contested presidential elections. The main candidates are current President Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is in our newsroom. He brings us more on that vote. Kaya, good afternoon. Certainly the president of Muhammadu Buhari has somewhat not brought as much expectation in terms of the changed in the lived experience of Nigerians than when he was elected into office, and he spent much of that time also not being well.
Especially, Kathy, when you go back into 2015, it was a very poignant moment for Nigeria when Buhari made a lot of promises trying to deal with the issue of the Boko Haram insurgency right in the northeast of Nigeria. And of course, we saw the girls kidnapped. Lots of promises were made, really, but also in essence trying to tackle the issue of the economy of Nigeria. We know for some time now the Naira has been plummeting, really just reaching the all-time low. So you had all the wishful promises that he made, but when you look at the fulfillment, really, he really never did much in terms of trying to fulfill that. But also he spent about 6 months away from the country receiving treatment in London. So with the vice president in essence acting as the de facto leader of Nigeria. So that's an issue that a lot of Nigerians have just been looking at. But apart from that, Kathy, APC, his party has been talking about giving him a second chance so that he can try to make some corrections and fix and rectify where he was not able to do so.
You rightfully point out, Kaya, that in 2015, security was high on the agenda for many Nigerians. And it seems that today, part of the failures of the Buhari government are expressing themselves, especially when we look at the number of those that have been killed in the run-up to this election.
That's right, Kathy. A lot of critics, they're saying the president could have done more in terms of making sure that the environment is conducive for all political parties, really to campaign freely. But also, Nigeria is a very complex country. You're talking about 200 ethnic groups. But it's very interesting here that both front runners, that of course Atiku Abubakar of the PDP and the incumbent President Buhari from the APC, they are both from the north. They also, just mainly from, they believe in the Islamic faith, as opposed to 2015, whereby you had somebody from the north, but also somebody who was a Christian on the other side. So it's a very interesting dimension. But of course, the Electoral Commission has been really working hard in making sure that about 70-odd parties that will be taking part in elections, they commit themselves in pledging peace, making sure that they adhere to all their regulations in making sure that Nigeria is having a very credible poll. But like you just said, Kathy, the issue in the run-up, we've seen a lot of fatalities. A lot of people have been killed in the run-up to the elections, something that is really just concerning.
Kaya, before I let you go, Abubakar certainly wouldn't be new to office as a former vice president. How is he leveraging on that previous experience to try and win the hearts and the minds of Nigerians? What is his selling point?
So if you go back to 1999, when Nigeria really went back to the democratic route after successive years of military dictatorship. So Atiku Abubakar was Olusegun Obasanjo's vice president. So now he's calling himself a changed man. So he's talking about, for example, very pro-business policies. So that's his selling point. But also apart from that, he's saying that Nigeria deserves better. So he'll make sure that the oil revenue will be used to make sure that all Nigerians are enjoying the wealth that the country does have. But apart from that, it's likely to be very interesting to see how is this going to shape up, Kathy, especially because a lot of Nigerians that we spoke to in the diaspora, they are also speaking about something that is long-standing in Nigeria, to give an opportunity for special vote, for those in the diaspora to be able to vote. So at this point, if you're not directly inside Nigeria, you're not able to vote. And we know about 84 million people are eligible to vote. So it's bound to be a very interesting election in Nigeria.
All right, let's leave it there. Khayelihle Khumalo with the latest on that vote that's set to take place in Nigeria.